Hi there, Sandra here from Create in Spain. Now this is a Brother scan and cut mat for a DX. And you can see this is the top and that's the bottom of it. And you might be thinking, gosh, that mat looks clean. Well, it is clean because I have just cleaned it. And I'm sure if you go back a couple of videos or somewhere where I show my mat, you will see that it didn't look like this a little while ago. It is now, I think, pretty much spotless. I don't think I've got any paper bits on here at all. And in fact, I have a sticky roller here. Now, normally, if you have glue or anything on here, you can't roll a sticky roller across it. And I have removed all the glue. As you can see, it doesn't have any difficulty in going across there. And when I did it earlier, it did pick up the very, very last remnants of paper and gunk that was on there because I took this layer off. My little layer comes off like so. And I had taken the layer off before I started. And you can probably see on there all the gunk that it picked up, just the last remaining fragments of whatever was left on there. And that's a good thing. So you might be thinking, well, this mat isn't very old. Well, actually, it's over a year old. And it is the only mat that I use for cutting. I have made spare mats. I haven't had to use them yet, but I have made them. Tested them out just to make sure they worked. But I've not had calls to use them. What I have done is with my guillotine, my paper guillotine, I ended up trimming off the minutest, tiniest little fraction across the top because my machine had tried eating the mat. And when it does that and it curls things up, it doesn't want to feed. And I had done that a long time ago. So why did I clean my mat off completely of everything? Well, the reason I did it is because after a year of, just scrubbing my mat, cleaning it, applying more glue when necessary, it had quite a thick layer of gunk on it. It was looking quite yellowed. I didn't like the look of it, but I also thought, well, it's probably not working at its best when it's in that state. And so I decided to strip it right down to nothing and start again. So how did I do it? I did this by, first of all, using, and this is going to seem really strange, an oven cleaner on it. We have in Spain a lot of log fires, and we have a special log fire glass cleaner, and I use that, and it does a very, very good job. You spray it on, you let it sit for a while, and you scrape off. And I actually used a metal scraper that I have in my craft room and started scraping gunk off, wiping it off. I did that several times. I then put sticky stuff remover all over it, and I worked that in with a stiff brush, and I let that sit for a while, and that was able to dissolve a lot of the glue that hadn't been dissolved before. And then I followed it up, washing it up with hot soapy water, and then after that I went over it with rubbing alcohol. Now, as you can see, there has been no damage whatsoever to the lines which are on here. Doesn't seem to affect them at all, in spite of all the chemicals that I put on it. I did this under the guise that if it wrecked my mat, it was no great shakes. It's been there for a year, it's worked for a year. It doesn't really owe me anything. So that's what I've done. And what I will use is a dilute form of tack it over and over, and I will apply that to the inner square. Do not get it over your black markings. You don't want your rollers running over glue. Not good for the machine, not good for anything. And tack it over and over is what I have been using to refresh my mats every now and again anyway. And I will simply put that on there and my mat will be nice and tacky. Do not use it straight from the bottle unless you need a mat which is going to hold things very, very, very heavy materials. If, for example, you were just planning on holding thick sheets of plastic to engrave on or something like that, you might want to use it undiluted to make sure it doesn't shift. But normally something like a 50-50 water glue solution will work really well, and that makes it a very cheap way to reinvigorate your mat and get the stickiness back. Once you've actually done that, by the way, you treat it as you would treat your mat normally. You can wipe it over with an alcohol-free baby wipe if that's what you use, or you can do what I do, and I just use warm water to wipe off things after I've scraped off paper remnants. So yeah, this is the state of my mat after a year of use. I still don't like these mats for their flexibility. They're flimsy, and I think Brother have actually done that deliberately to make you buy more mats. So I've made it my mission in life not to buy any more. If I can possibly help it, I won't. So there we go. But if you do happen to need to make your own mat, I will leave a link to a video down below, and you can see how I've made my own replacement mats very cheaply. But as I said, at the moment I'm still using my original mat, and I'm going to see how long I can get this thing to last. It's my mission in life to make it last as long as I want it to. Okay, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't, and by the way, I have a Facebook page now called createinspain, and you can always look on there, contact me on there if you need any information. Thanks for watching, take care now.